you hear that train in the background?
The train?
Oh, good. I can hear it.
Yeah, no.
I don't hear it.
Okay.
I reside next to a train station, so all the times throughout the night, I hear it. Get it.
Where the... this is so annoying.
No, my camera's shutting off every 3 seconds. It's annoying.
Yeah, I think Chelsea's got the more annoying problem.
I don't know why the thumbnail doesn't change. For some reason, it won't change. But let me try it again.
Okay.
Oh, well, let's see. This might change it.
Hold on, I gotta grab something really quick.
Okay, so I think this should be fine. I don't know why the thumbnail doesn't change.
Okay.
Silence that. All right, here's a new link. Let me know if everyone is okay with that, if that works.
Let's see.
I can see me yawning, getting back in the chair.
So I'm going to... Okay, yeah. So I'm good on my end, I think. I'm just going to close all the windows here so that nothing is confusing me.
Okay. All right. Let me try it.
Man, my allergies are kicking up this morning too.
Michael, you're just a hot mess this morning.
Yeah.
There it is. Yes. Okay. Yeah, we're good. Yeah. Okay. All right. Post it on Facebook. Throw it on LinkedIn. We need some intro music.
Oh, don't pressure me like that. I'm panicking already.
Michael, can you sing for us?
I'm gonna sing. Oh yeah, there you go. That's a good intro.
It is a good one.
Is that the intro for Coffee with Creator?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the
Is
only
it the
song I
full-
have on here.
But is it the full intro where it also has your voiceover?
No, it's just the song.
Oh, nice. I like it.
I have one that has our voices.
All right, so I'm just going to post this.
Just watched a Toto video. It was highly inspirational.
A Toto
Just
video?
The toilet video on their are we going to be playing like videos from the exhibitors we're talking about? Is that what's happening?
I think I'll throw it on a little bit here and there. Like if it's on the link on the website.
Ah, son of a bitch. Hold on. I have to change the because now my link right now is unlisted. So I have to go public first, right?
Oh, well, I mean, if they click the link, won't they find it?
Yeah, but that means I don't know if it's going to change the link for us right now.
Will there be a different link?
Let me try. I'll find out.
If I just click the link.
Yeah.
Let me just try clicking it on it.
Okay, we'll see.
See what happens.
All right, so I changed it to public.
Well, no, I can see it.
Is it still?
I can see it on my phone because even though it's unlisted, it's still a public link. You just need the actual link to get there.
Right. Okay, so I guess it doesn't matter if I don't know.
Yeah, that's fine because people will be linking to this anyways.
Okay.
I can still see it fine too.
Okay, sweet. Just making sure.
We're good. We are good. Love it.
View, it's working. Okay. So posting this on social.
I can't stop yawning.
It's a thing. You should play your music. It'll be a nice little get us in the mood. That's a cute. It's such a cute song.
Thank you. Do you feel like Chelsea and Michael are about to start talking?
Hi, I'm Chelsea, and I'm Michael.
I'm Michael.
And welcome to our scrappy little podcast called Coffee of Creators, where grab some coffee and a pizza. I think it's something like that. I don't know.
Close, very close.
You should just make our intro.
You should. We're actually about to update our intro for season 2.
Yeah.
Welcome to Crack with Coffee of Creators.
Crack with
Crack
creators.
creators.
Where we cook crack
Yeah.
at our houses.
And in this week's How I Learned This, I
Yeah.
taught myself how to make crack.
I
This is all broadcast live.
I went to my shoot.
Can
say stuff like this.
Can one of you check the story that I posted and make sure that the link is working?
I want everyone to know that was a joke. Can I swipe up on? Oh, okay.
I don't see a link
You don't? Are you serious?
on your Instagram story.
Yeah. The one that I just posted.
Oh. There it is.
It's working. The swipe up is.
Yeah, it's working.
Okay.
I got it to work.
It's working.
All right, sweet. Just wanted to make sure. All right. Well, we are live.
We are live.
We are live.
Okay, awesome. We are ready. Are we ready? We're ready.
We are ready. We are ready as we can ever be.
Michael, are you ready? That's the real question here.
No, I am not ready. I'm never ready.
Really, all we care about is whether or not Michael's ready, and everything else doesn't matter. First is Michael ready, and then Lydia happy.
I mean, it is my channel, so I am burning it down to the ground. If so, it's fine.
I'm actually really nervous. I wasn't prepared to talk about these items, but no, I'm ready.
Well, this should be fun. I mean, this is Chelsea's first dive into CES virtually. This will.
And Corona is making it to where I can't actually get the full experience, but that's okay.
I know. You know what's funny? The last time it popped up on my Google Photos last year when I attended CES, and it was a photo of me laying on the couch, and I remember it very, very clearly. I was very sick that day. Like I didn't.
Oh right, you were sick.
I was very sick that day, and I
I
was
sick
so.
of CES too.
It was I know. This is the whole CES experience. You know, my allergies are kicking up this morning, so.
Yeah, you have to get sick for CES. If you're not sick after or during CES,
It's not CES.
Actually, honestly, that's so true. I recall this too because I know that like looking at other journalists, they do mention how like after a week you're in this crowded environment and you're just like you're so busy all the time and you're just bound to get exhausted.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's like get sick. Yeah.
Yeah, it was I wasn't even an exhibitor, and I was just like attending, and I was already getting sick. It's a lot of walking. I'll tell you this: I very much underestimated how large that event was. That place was just insane.
Chelsea asked us earlier before the stream started. She's like, "Hey, so like, how big is CES? Or like, does it just take place? Like, where does it take place?" And I was like, "It's very hard to describe how vast the venue is because you literally are walking endlessly for like miles in a day."
Mm-hmm. It's ridiculous because I remember looking at the map and I'm like, oh, this is where the main building is, right? Like, I guess this is how CES is. You walk in, there's a big sign that says CES welcome. Spent like a couple of hours inside only to realize that they have transportation available. So you can go to the different buildings that's also associated to CES. So the main building where I was at, it wasn't even the building. So there are other buildings and different floors and different, exhibit floor. It was just crazy. And I'm like, there's no way that I could cover this entire thing. So it was an experience. It was actually really great, but a little overwhelming, I have to say.
Yeah, when I was asking Yi and Lydia about it, I was expecting them to say it was like just all these different exhibitors in like one huge room. And they were like, no, it's like all of Las Vegas.
Yes.
I was like, wow, that's crazy. I wasn't expecting that at all.
That's a very accurate description of it. All of Las Vegas. It's pretty crazy.
CES pulls huge numbers for attendees, right? I mean, it's, again, being the biggest, the largest consumer electronics show, and you feel it all at one time. And it's just a lot.
So is it 1 week or is it like 3 days or how long is it?
So technically, little like, I guess like inside baseball. As an exhibitor, and if you're press, but as an exhibitor, you are there Monday, even like Sunday or Saturday before the show starts to set up, and you're there all the way until Friday. You actually get penalized if you don't stay all the way through Friday, because CES doesn't want exhibitors essentially pulling out early, because realistically, most people that are there at CES who want to actually talk and discover and walk around, they're so exhausted by day 3, which is Thursday of CES, that on Friday they're just gone. Which means, and for press, so on Monday, so yesterday is like the press day. So if you're press, you have early access to all the booths. You get to walk around first. And so if the press is there, they're there basically Monday through Thursday. And then again on Friday, they're so exhausted that they don't really care to stick around anymore. But yeah, essentially it is an all-week event, but in reality, it's like 3-4 days, depending on who you are.
I gotcha. Yeah. So Michael, were you considered press or were you just someone like there hanging out?
No, I was considered to be like a nuisance over there because I was just walking around and talking to everyone. But
you were a guest.
I was a guest. Yeah, I was a guest. So it's really interesting too, because I have a cousin who works for Omron, that company that I thought they just made blood pressure stuff like what do you call it, monitors. Apparently they have robotics and AI and all that stuff. So they had a very impressive booth actually. And I was texting her before the event, and I was asking, so what do you wear when you go to CES? And she's like, people usually go with business casual, so that they can, when they talk to other people. And I asked other people as well, what are you going to wear? And they said business casual. And Yi was like the only one who said, wear comfortable shoes or be as comfortable as possible. And of course, I'm like, well, everyone said business casual. So I wore like my nicer shoes, but they weren't the most comfortable. And that was a big mistake. And honestly, 90% of the people that I saw there, unless you're an exhibitor, they're basically just in casual clothes. It almost felt like the Comic-Con without the costumes. It was just like very, very casual. So
it's a casual conference, for sure.
I've been to Comic-Cons, and that's why I asked, is it like just different exhibitors in a huge room? Because that's how Comic-Con is.
Yeah, but imagine it like times 20. Like it's huge. It's ridiculously huge, yeah. But it's
But no, I mean that's a good point though. It's like, you think you need to dress up because it's, if you went to any other like exhibition, expo, right? People technically would still, they all wear like, business casual because you are trying to discuss, trying to like make deals happen. But at CES, it's such a blend of press and just and industry attendees and whatever else exists. I mean, I even saw tour groups go in, to which I was thinking, you're not even supposed to tour this. It's not open to people not involved in the industry.
Exactly.
Why is there a tour group with a flag, right? Like waving, and like why is there a whole tour group walking through CES?
I have seen a couple of those. Yes.
Yeah.
That was pretty hilarious. Guys. Oh, sorry. I was just going to say that before we proceed, we probably should introduce ourselves to anyone who's watching right now. I think that would be a good way to welcome the 18 people who are watching right now. So if you guys are here on my channel, I'm pretty sure you guys know who I am already. I hope so. And I will let Yi introduce himself. He's the guy in the top camera right there. So I'll open the floor to him.
Yes. So I'm Yi. If you ever listen to Michael and Chelsea's wonderful podcast, Coffee with Creators, they had me on sometime last year. But in any case, I am the founder of Some Products. We make the bougie wireless chargers that you should all definitely get. And with me is also Lydia, wonderful Lydia.
She's
Lydia,
down there.
I'm Lydia. I work for E. I kind of just do whatever he tells me to do.
Wow, that sounds terrible.
I'm here right now because he told me to wake up and join this live stream.
Poor Lydia. She's like, I'm having breakfast right now. Like, I have to go on live?
If you guys can't tell, Lydia loves being here. Absolutely loves it.
And of course, we can't forget about Chelsea, which is the camera down below. Right there.
Hello. Some of you guys know me. I'm half of Coffee with Creators. I'm also on YouTube and Instagram. And my name is Chelsea. I guess that's about it.
Yeah, awesome. So guys, this is going to be we think this is going to run for at least 2 hours. So come hang out with us and just, we'll check out CES today. And it's very, very different because it's virtual. So even like us, we don't know what to expect, to be honest with you. And it's a little challenging to navigate through all the different windows that they've created for us on the website. And we're hoping that it actually works, but we'll find out. And we are going to try our best to make it as, easy to understand as possible. So this is a good chance for you to have a peek at what CES kind of looks like. Minus the actual attendance over there. So it should be fun. So thank you for watching and, stick around. We'll be here for a while. So I guess we can just start with this whole thing, Yi.
Yeah. Okay, let's do it. So why don't we jump into, let's actually give some exposure to the tech that we found that we think is actually really, really fun, really exciting, things that actually make us feel like we're seeing just like tidbits of the future. And I know right off the bat, let's talk about Michael's pick right here.
Yeah. That's the moment I saw Mercedes, I'm like, that's it. Like that's the future right there. No, this is actually a really interesting thing because if you're a car enthusiast, you know that when it comes to technology and cars, Mercedes is always the first to introduce a bunch of new features. So it usually starts with the S-Class, which is their flagship sedan. And I would say maybe 3 or 4 years before any of the bells and whistles on that particular model, it'll take about 3 or 4 years before it trickles down to the rest of the lineup. Not even the rest of the lineup, but the rest of the industry. They were the first to do the radar, what do you call this? Like the safety feature where it actually uses radar to detect objects in front of you. It had night vision cameras. Back in, I think, early I would say like 2008 or something like that. Like way, way, way before. I could be wrong though. But way before anyone else started to implement that to their own lineup. So I was very excited to see this because they're basically the first that I know of, correct me if I'm wrong, Yi, that to actually introduce multi LED screens inside a vehicle, aside from Tesla, because Tesla has that big tablet, right? But Mercedes was the first one to integrate like their gauges and the entertainment like screen. But it had to be, I think it was, right now I think they have one big screen, but it's definitely not as big as this one. This is what, 50, what was it, 56?
56 inch.
56 inches. That's bigger than the TV I have at home. It's ridiculous.
Okay, what? Your TV is less than 56
Yeah, I think the one that I have, the one downstairs is like 45 inches or something like that. So I'm like, wait, what the heck? So I should probably watch Netflix there. Where are you going, honey? I'm going in the car. I'm going to go watch Netflix.
So I will say this is definitely, I think the 56 inch is kind of a cheating measurement just because we know it's the diagonal.
Yeah.
In this case, I have no idea where exactly their diagonal begins and ends, right? But I do think that it'll be very interesting to see, like, just because it is all screen, how much of it is functional screen.
Mm-hmm.
Like if we look at the photos here, there's clearly some sort of, I guess it could be a software bezel that goes around like the center UI, and just like because you have all this real estate, like it'll be interesting to see how do they actually utilize it. And like, okay, in your car, right, you have your dashboard, and sometimes you have like a nice wood trim, or you have some sort of accent on your dashboard that makes it look slightly more luxurious, more elegant. And I don't know if this like takes away from it, kind of like how Tesla went the super minimalist route with like just one, like the steering wheel, 2 buttons, and then one big screen. And a lot of people were like conflicted because they weren't sure if they like that, if they like how far removed from a standard car interior that was. And so maybe those would be good. I think it would be fun to try regardless. It is Mercedes, right? Mercedes makes great interiors.
They do. I would say they have the best interiors, I think.
Yeah. So
I will say this.
It'll be fun to try no matter what.
I'll say this one though. Like one of my biggest gripes with automakers right now is because I think they're using the screens as the main selling point. You know what I mean? Like I know they're probably just following the trend. Like Tesla, you have talked about the model, like any of the Tesla cars actually, and we were saying that the only interesting thing inside that vehicle is the screen itself, which kind of
definitely.
I think that takes away a little bit, like going back to your point that how are customers going to feel about the interior having this massive screen? Like, is that the only thing that is interesting to look at? But my problem is I am not a big fan of touchscreens in general in vehicles. Like they can be like
they can be distracting.
They're very distracting.
Really distracting.
Yeah, very distracting. Yeah. So I'm curious to see how Mercedes plans to implement this in their new range of cars without it being too distracting. But they could be starting a trend. Maybe people are just evolving and just like we're getting used to all the distractions, as weird as that may sound. And I don't know. We'll see. I'm curious though, but I am very, very impressed with this type of technology because it wasn't a long time ago when we were all amazed at flat screen TVs, and they were all still rather, they were like 3 or 4 inches thick or something like that. But now this time it's like you said, 56-inch diagonally measured screen in a car. That just seems insane.
No, it is crazy. And I mean, to your point, just I think the one caveat is, again, like to give evidence that screens can be distracting. There was recently a court ruling in Europe where, I think it's in the EU, the way that Tesla handles their windshield wipers was considered a hazard because and a distraction, since you'd have to go into a menu and actually manually select the mode you want for the wipers, which while you're driving and it's pouring rain, and if you don't happen to have the auto wipers on, also the Tesla wipers are known for having bad auto sensors. So like one example is when I've been in the car and let's say it's been raining, I get in the car and at first start the car, or I first like put it in drive because you don't start a Tesla. The windshield wipers will wipe very quickly for about a minute. It just keeps going like that, and it looks like it's panicking.
Really?
Oh, wow.
It's so strange. It's so strange.
Is that standard?
I've seen it on multiple Model 3s. Yeah, it's so funny to me. I think it's trying to clear it off so you can have a nice like a clear view before you start driving. Mm-hmm. But it just goes for so long that it's almost hilarious what it's doing.
Well, what if you're in the snow? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what if it's
So again, if you're in the snow, right, you don't want it to keep wiping because the snow, it doesn't, you can't use windshield wipers for snow too often, otherwise it gets stuck.
Yeah,
and so you have to go into the sub menu, right, to like, hey, turn it off. And so they just rolled out a new update that actually gave its own dedicated button on like the bottom toolbar. So like that was their fix. That was their software fix for what was essentially distraction before that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, anyways, cool stuff. Chelsea, you have something that you like.
I do. And I want to say about what you guys were talking about, that all seems like it's way above my pay grade. So it was all kind of going over my head when you guys were talking about it. But I wanted to talk about the new Sony AirPeak by DJI. And the reason I picked this as my first one to talk about is because I think it is the first drone that is made by, it's essentially DJI's competitor, but it's the first drone that is made by a camera company and not by a company that is specialized in making drones. It looks like the same drone that DJI has, which is like for their big filmmakers, you know, where they attach like those big red cinema cameras to. I don't know if this is something that I would ever have simply because I'm a Canon shooter, but I know Michael would probably be interested in it as well. But also, I'm pretty sure this thing is pretty expensive. So I, again, would probably not fly it because I would be afraid of crashing it. But I mean, it looks cool.
Yeah. It's almost like one of those things where if you have to ask how much.
If they're not putting the price tag. But I mean, it definitely looks cool. I know it's going to be something big for a lot of freelance filmmakers. I know they're, especially Sony shooters, I know they're going to be really excited about it. So.
Yeah. I'm curious though, like I wonder how it's going to benefit Sony shooters, because I know if you buy one of those top tier drones, like you said, Chelsea, for filmmaking, you can slap on any camera on there.
You can.
Right. So for this, unless they price it very, very competitively, that it'll attract Sony users specifically. And, you know, I don't really know what benefits you get from it. I'm afraid that, so I fly drones every now and then, and one of the trickiest things about flying a drone is you have to be very mindful of, you know, flying it, so controlling it. And if you want more camera controls and stuff like that, you most likely will need a camera operator, right? So, and I'm just talking about like the smaller drones. So for the bigger ones, there's usually someone who pilots a drone, and then another who, you know, controls the camera. So for this, if somehow Sony manages to mix those two and make it easy for one individual to control the drone and the camera, maybe that will be a selling point. But I don't really know if they've given any other details with regards to it. So right now, it just looks like a cool drone.
There's no details regarding that, but I feel like after you said that, I feel like that is maybe what they're going for. Since they're only allowing Sony cameras on there, correct?
Knowing Sony, yes. Sony's notorious for that.
Yeah, I was going to say, knowing Sony, yes. The fact that they had their own memory card standard for the longest time. What was it?
Yeah.
The memory card duo, I think is what it was called.
Yeah.
Oh, man, what a pain in the butt it was to work around Sony. But yes, I think this would be great. But like again, unless it's competitively priced, I don't know. I don't see anything that stands out as a get this over a DJI Phantom.
Yeah.
Right. So the only other thing I could probably think of would be, they mentioned AI robotics. So like the AI itself, it's really good. But there is a company here in the US who makes a very, very good, completely autonomous drone. I can't remember their name. They made a version 2 already, and I saw the reviews. I don't know if you've seen those, but like you can literally
ask, what is it? You say,
I can't remember the name because it's like one of those smaller companies, but the reviews were insane. So you could literally walk through, or actually bike through, a forest and have the drone follow you, and it's not going to hit a single thing.
Tested that out, didn't he?
Oh, he did. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
yes,
it was blue or something.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about now. I actually thought about getting that drone.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I did too.
But then I realized I can't fly a drone. So
the same thing. That's what I said too. I was like, no, I'm scared to fly the 2 drones that I have. So I'm not going to spend more money on a drone that's going to sit in my closet.
But see, that's the thing though. Like that's why you want to buy that drone, because you don't have to worry about flying it.
It'll do everything for
you.
Exactly.
Correct.
So
that's
totally right.
If this can do that, I mean, I have my expensive Sony on this expensive drone. Like it better be flying itself, right?
Oh my gosh, that's so true.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I have some expensive cameras too, but I know Sony is up there.
Yeah.
So I couldn't imagine. I don't know. I wouldn't want to be the first ones to to plop my $4,000
Right.
camera on there and expect it to do everything correctly.
Yeah, I'd be afraid too. But that's a good piece of tech, I think. I'm really, really curious. I'm intrigued with what it has to
definitely
offer.
I think it's a wait and see.
Mhm.
It's wait and see what they can come up with.
Yeah, I mean, we don't even know the price point either. I feel like looking at it though in these videos that they're showing on their website, I feel like it's not going to be cheap.
No,
And
probably
it's from
not.
Sony.
Yeah. What if you thought Sony and cheap? Or
Yeah,
what if
no,
you thought
never.
Sony
You
Yeah.
never
affordable?
hear Sony and cheap together.
Right, exactly. Curious.
All right.
I'm excited for it though.
Let's move on to probably Lydia's favorite pick, arguably her favorite pick.
My only pick.
It's your only.
Tell us about this, Lydia.
Toto has come up with a new toilet, and it's supposed to be a completely hands-free experience. Like, you walk up to it, the toilet lid opens, you sit down, you don't have to do anything with your hands. It'll like wipe your butt for you with water. The video only showed it spraying your butt with water. I don't know how you would ever dry your butt because it didn't show any air. So I'm assuming, I don't know, you just got to shake it off and then put your pants on.
You found a video of this toilet?
Yes, I watched it. Yeah, I like dug and I found a video and they didn't show any air blowing. So I'm assuming
Just do a little dance
shake it off
after.
or something.
Like a bidet situation, like you usually wipe with toilet paper.
Yeah, but the whole like marketing line was like hands free, like never use your hands for anything. Like don't touch anything once you get into the stall, basically.
I
Interesting.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know how they're gonna solve that problem. But it's more than just a toilet.
It's more than a toilet.
Am I selling this
But
well?
wait,
Well,
there's more.
Great.
Let me just say this.
Wait.
I've never listened so intently about, someone talking about the toilet before. So I'm like, really?
But wait, there's more. So the experience goes beyond just that. Once you sit down on the toilet seat, the toilet like calibrates your butt and the skin on your thighs to tell you how you're doing. Are you doing well mentally? Do you need to go see a therapist? Are you all these things? I don't know how, if they say they have like groundbreaking technology to be revealed, whatnot, that basically reads your skin, butt temperature. I don't know. But more than that,
Oh, there's more.
whatever you drop off into the toilet, they also analyze, and the toilet is basically like connected to your phone, and it'll tell you like, hey, you've been eating too much like carbs, or you need to eat more healthy fats. You need to go, like, they literally send you a specific like recipe. Like in their little ad, they had like this like salmon chicken salad recipe that your phone will like send. Yeah, your phone will send you and tell you like, hey, go buy these ingredients and make this because you are failing in your diet.
I already have
your feces.
I already have a problem with it. And I can tell you what.
Rude.
Before you use it, can you imagine? Okay, imagine this. Picture this. I'm sorry, but picture this. If you're running, like you really need to go, and you use the toilet, and then it asks you if it's okay. It's all the privacy setting. Click this, because it's going to gather all the data. It's like, before you use this, you have to agree and read all this fine print.
Well, I assume that's just the first time.
Yeah. Okay.
That's just the first time. And then after that, it's just like going to be constant. I don't know, like, will it constantly remind you? Like, how many times do you go to a toilet a day? Are you just going to get spammed with like notifications on your phone about how your feces isn't like getting a good grade? I don't know.
Interesting.
Failing.
And you
You're
go
failing.
to the bathroom on the day, and this notification pops up, and you leave your phone on the table. Your date sees that your toilet is saying that your poo is bad. You have a bad diet.
No, even worse is your date goes on your toilet, and then you get a little report about her life.
That's just too much.
The person that just used it is like mentally unstable or mentally unwell. You're like, oh.
Well, as a parent, I won't speak for every parent, but as a parent, the toilet is one of the remaining few sanctuaries from your children. So,
especially for my husband.
So
when there for an hour,
when you're using even like 2 minutes, like when I walk in the bathroom, my kids are like pounding on the door. They're like, "Daddy, what are you doing? Come out here!" And I'm like, "Leave me alone." so having having this type of toilet, I think, if we're talking about like from a medical perspective, right? Like the benefits can be really like good. Like imagine if they had this in hospitals. That
That's
would
what
be
I was
cool.
thinking.
That would be cool.
Hospitals.
Yeah. But as a conversation piece, have you used our toilet lately? You know what I mean? Like,
It's just funny to
You
think
would-
that you're in the future, your toilet is like scolding you for having a bad diet.
That's what I said. Like, this thing is rude.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're someone who needs to keep track for health reasons of your waste, that would probably be like something really cool to have. But just in every home, I wouldn't see. And I wouldn't want this in a guest bathroom because, like you guys said, like you're getting the notifications for your guests. Like,
That's
yeah,
true.
no, I
Collecting
I wouldn't want
data.
that would need to be in a master bathroom.
Would you use it for if you owned like a restaurant or something like like a really really nice place? Would you buy something like this for your patrons or you know what I
I
mean?
feel
No,
like
because
no.
I don't think they'd be able to use it because it would go to your phone.
Would
they'd
you have to update
They'd
them?
have
Like,
to log in. They'd have to log in to they have to make an account, you know, and suit up with the toilet.
yeah,
Sign up for my newsletter.
I will say, I think a funny scenario is imagine that, like, again, for like if you made like if you had a significant other that didn't eat veggies, and you're like, "Did you eat your veggies?" And they're like, "Yeah." Like, well, your poo doesn't say you did.
well, our toilet says otherwise.
So now it's also a lie detector. So,
Yeah.
It really is. Yeah.
but that's cool though. I mean, I've never thought of tech in a toilet.
I haven't either.
Yeah. Should
I
be
mean, it's
interesting.
definitely out there. There's definitely a market for it somewhere, I'm sure.
Somewhere. There's a lid for every pot.
Yeah. Somebody will buy it. Yee, let us know what you think.
Lydia will buy it.
Okay.
I
will
would buy
say,
it if I could buy it.
Yeah.
full disclosure, I mean, we do have several Toto toilets. And they're the ones that, like, when you walk into the bathroom, the lid automatically opens, right? And it sanitizes the bowl after every use, and it heats.
Now
the,
that
like,
I would
there's a
have.
heat
Yeah.
of the day, and also the you can there's a fan that dries you off, and also a heated seat. So there are all these features, and I think it seems excessive, but also it's one of those things where once you have it, like sitting on a warm seat and like in the mornings when you don't want it to be cold, it's just the nicest sensation.
That is actually nice.
Yeah.
So I have a question, Yi.
So
Do any of those smart toilets offer like a sound system? And so the legitimate question, like, is there a speaker? Do you know if any?
I'm going to say probably not.
Because
but
I
don't
feel
know.
like
no, I would say I bet there's a third party that makes some sort of weird attachment, right? Or some sort of weird toilet seat that is powered that has a speaker. But do you really want sound coming from your butt?
no, it's not that. Well, that's the thing. Like, you want to drown out the sound that's coming from your butt. Because
it also like it can play like white noise or something.
right, or
your-
white
your-
noise, or even just music, like
I see.
elevator music. I've always wondered, like,
Yeah.
why don't they have music in the bathroom? Like, I mean, some places do, but we've all walked in the bathroom at some point and we're like, it's a little too quiet in here. I kind of don't want to make any sort of noise, and you try to mask it with a cough, but just eventually makes it worse.
Unbelieve the toilet paper.
Yeah. We have our own techniques, right? We all have our own techniques. But I
Yeah.
think a speaker would be a pretty cool addition. So if you are a third party, I don't know, like tech company, think about that one.
accessory.
Accessory, yeah. Sony, get on
There's
it.
your free idea from Michael. Put a sticker in the toilet.
It's your free idea.
Yeah, that's so. Just take
Yeah.
it. Just take it. All right. Okay. Let's switch gears to something a little bit less about the bottom.
Okay.
But this is one of my personal favorites for CES. So this is Samsung's Bot Handy, and I actually think this would be amazing for my mom, because as someone, as she lives at home by herself, this is supposed to be able to pick up the laundry, load the dishwasher, set the table, pour you a drink, bring the drink to you. I think it's just like if you want to be lazy, but also if you are like you can't do certain things, this would be great. Like it's like having a robotic helper. But in this case, it seems like we're getting ever closer to that being a reality. Like it's just like you're on the couch, Michael. You're like, I can't be bothered to go to the kitchen to pour myself a glass of water. Oh, no worries. I have this robot. Or doing dishes. I hate doing dishes.
Yeah. You know what? You know what's funny is that it probably sounds ridiculous, right? Like it probably sounds like, oh, that's like such a silly first world problem to have. But for someone like me who has chronic like gout pains, so there are days when I just can't walk. Like I literally can't go like 2 feet away from from where I'm sitting at to get a glass of water or medicine. This thing is actually going to be really, really cool and helpful. Because if I tried to do that with my 4-year-old, it'll take her like 4 hours before I get my glass of water. You know what I mean? Yeah. And yes, she'll empty it out in that 2 feet. Like somehow it's all over the place except for, in the glass.
In the glass.
Yeah. This is actually really cool. Going back to your point, this would be good for maybe the elderly.
I think for elderly, this is a huge win. Like if I could see this right up there with like self-driving cars. Right, elderly that don't want to drive and having an assistant at home. I mean, this alleviates a huge thing with needing like a live-in helper, right? Just like all like the manual tasks. I think this would pay for itself easily.
I remember last year's CES, Samsung had the very impressive exhibit of like the completely smart in a home. So from mirrors to refrigerators to even closets. They were it was very impressive. It was probably the nicest booth that I've ever, I saw last year. So this, I think, works well with that same theme. They follow the same theme. Like the designs are really nice and friendly looking. You know what I mean? Like they look very, like, look at this. Like they didn't have to put eyes on the robot.
They have the little like blinking eyes.
Yeah.
And it looks like a little cute and skinny stick.
It's cute.
So
It's
cute.
cool.
That's what I was going to say. It's adorable.
Yeah. So I dig this.
Very cute.
I dig this a lot. I think it's something I definitely want to have eventually. But yeah.
I would definitely buy this one. I first read and it said it picks up laundry, it loads the dishwasher. Like if my husband could purchase this now, he would, because his job is the dishes and mine is the laundry. So if he could have this thing do his job, he would totally pay for it.
Oh, this is so incredible. I'm just watching these GIFs and I'm like,
right?
Man.
Pouring you some wine. It brings you a flower. It's so cute.
I know.
Honestly, this is one of the things that I would love to watch at work. I think it's so mesmerizing to think that a robot can do these types of tasks. It's really incredible.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. I think especially if they can somehow design other furnitures around it to make it look not. You know what I mean? Like for example, a fridge. That would be ideal for a robot to use. Like it's easy access, like it has trays or something like that, or even a dishwasher that's just designed better for stuff like that. I think it can make your home very, very efficient. So that's a cool idea. Yeah. I like it.
Did you see it waving by? It's so cute.
I know. We're all mesmerized by that robot and the toilet.
So cute. Doesn't take a lot.
Doesn't take a lot. Forget the cars or the drone. Let's talk about toilets and robots. So I just wanted to give a quick reminder for anyone who's watching right now. Thank you for joining, for hanging out with us. My name is Michael, and I am with Chelsea Horn, and Yi and Lydia of Some Products, and we are going to try our best to show CES to you to try to. What we're trying to do is trying to make this whole experience as easy to understand as much as possible, because it's a little challenging given the situation where it's all virtual, and we're just basically picking out what we think is the most interesting products or the ones that are most promising, and think of it like just the news for CES. Like these are newsworthy, and we are trying to share that with you. So if you are here right now watching, stick around. We'll be here for maybe at least another hour and a half. So, and thank you for joining. And back to the show. Is that what you say?
So, I just want to give a quick. I want to run through what CES looks like this year, so the viewers actually understand why this is a more convenient method of learning about CES, and really about why. Oh, hold on. Is my mic getting a lot worse?
Yeah, your mic somehow just
mic?
cut off.
It's worse than when we started.
I'll tell you what it is, Yi. It's those damn AirPods.
It's the AirPods. Okay, hold on. Should I use my AirPods Pro? Will these be better?
We'll see.
All right. Quick. Okay, wait. How are these right now? Are these worse or better?
That's actually better.
Better. A little bit better.
It's like where you started.
Okay, but what is the... That's where I started from. My goodness.
So...
Okay, well...
When we first started, your audio sounded good.
Mm-hmm.
What has happened over the course of time? I'm not sure.
Okay, so people are saying that it was too quiet, and then so I tried switching to my webcam mic, and then you guys said it sucked. So now I'm back to the AirPods.
Yeah. Okay.
This is good. This is fine.
Yeah, this is fine actually. Yeah.
All right. But no, someone says still quiet.
I think you lowered your volume earlier, so relatively speaking,
No, I think I already changed that though.
Did you? Because I know we were trying to get rid of the echo.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I already changed my settings to be back to just to let it automatically adjust the input volume. I can bump it up. We can see how that goes.
I think you sound fine right now.
Start getting. Okay, someone said it's better now. All right, great.
Sweet.
Thanks, Jesse. Appreciate it.
Kasim,
right,
let me just answer Kasim's
back.
question real quick. Sorry, he was asking when I'm going to announce the winners of the giveaway. I did like a little live stream. I'm going to do that this week. I promise. Sorry, because I had to move some stuff around, especially for this for CES. But yes, I will pick the winners. Don't worry. Thank you for asking.
Awesome. All right. So I want to give a general idea about what CES looks like this year. So if everyone that's watching, CES in its true form is a big exhibition where you walk miles and miles past thousands of booths, and every single booth is something different. And it's, there's a lot of energy, a lot of excitement, and a lot of chaos too. But because we're all digital this year due to COVID, what this actually looks like now is essentially a web page. And this is the homepage of CES. And so in order to get to a booth or any company's exhibit, what you end up happening is you go to the exhibitor directory, and this is really all we get to see. It's a huge list of sorted alphabetically just of every single company that is attending. And there's no real way for us to know or for anyone else to know what these companies do unless you physically click into a specific brand. And so you can imagine how this is really time consuming because instead of being able to just walk past the booth and glance at it, now you have to actually click on any page that you think might be remotely interesting. And so this poses a huge challenge for not just these brands that are trying to get exposure, but even for reporters and journalists that are forced to manually click through every single listing and every single web page that that these brands have. And there's a total of 1,965 exhibitors. So we decided let's just try to save a lot of effort, and we did a lot of digging prior to today's show to try to find our favorites, the ones that really stand out. And so that no one has to really dig through all this because it's just a lot. It's overwhelming. And I mean, I can't even tell you what most of these companies do because there's just that many brands that exist. And honestly speaking, I think that this number is a huge drop off from what CES normally is, because if you're a company that relies on having a physical product, you can't really showcase that product. It doesn't communicate as well over just a video or a web page, which means we're looking at a fraction of what would normally be there. So any case, with that in mind, we will continue talking about the things that we really like, that we found, and also sharing about our own experiences about CES and how, and and actually on that note, Chelsea, I want to ask you, because I'm assuming you've heard of CES before, like here and there, but like if you were to attend, right, and even given all the stuff that we've said, what would you expect to see? Like what would be like your, like almost like your emotional like state if you were to attend, and how would you feel going into the show?
Well, before you guys kind of explained it to me, yes, I had heard of CES last year through Michael, I think was the first year that I had heard of it. Because last year was like my real first year into like this side of things. So before you guys explaining, I thought it was just one big room where, several booths were set up and you kind of just walk around. But after you guys telling me, it sounds very overwhelming. I was curious, do you guys see everything that is there to offer, or do you just kind of like pick and choose things that you would like to see? Because when I hear about it, like I said, it just seems very overwhelming.
Can I answer that? So you have to, in my experience, depending on how much time you have. So obviously Yi and Lydia would have been there for the entire thing, and they probably would not be able to walk around because someone has to man their booth, right? But for me as an attendee, I had to pick and choose because it was so huge that you just don't have the time and energy to cover everything. So I spent like 3 days, I think, walking around. And I barely covered everything. So the most interesting part would probably be where I don't remember exactly where that was, Yi, but remember those multi-floor ones with all these smaller startups where you guys were at?
The one where we were?
Yeah. No, because that was really interesting because you get to talk to all these innovators, these brilliant people, and you get to hear like really, really cool ideas and really, really silly ideas. So that was the most interesting part. But from a just like a very grand spectacle type of perspective, when you're in the main hall, it's a trade show. You see all the really cool stuff, which is also funny because I came across this really interesting piece of product, and it was a super thin LCD that you look at it from the side, it almost looks like a sticker, but it's a TV. And so they have all these people that they hired to just man the booths, but not all of them know anything about the products. I mean, so I was asking this lady, and she really did not know anything. I mean, she was just reading off of what the description was, and that was a bit of a shame. I feel like so that the main floor seemed more like a showcase. You just look at it and you're like, wow, look at that, it's pretty cool. And you read the brochure. Not all of them, right? Some of them are really, really they know what they're talking about. But I thought that the area with all the smaller booths was the most interesting one because you get to really talk to them. But yeah, you can't. Sorry, going back to the Chelsea's question, you have to pick and choose because it's a lot. It's a lot, yeah.
So when you go to all these booths, do they have like a prototype of the product that they are going to be producing, and you get to like mess around with it, I assume?
For the smaller booths, I'm assuming all of them, right, Yi? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. So you need to have, they have a requirement. So to the point that Michael is making, there are different exhibition halls. So in the main Las Vegas Convention Center, all companies that are situated there tend to be like the established, like the big names, right? LG, Samsung, Sony. Like if you can think of the brand, it's most likely there. And then where we were in what they call the Eureka Park. Thank you, Lydia. So Eureka Park is where all the startups go, and all the booths are much smaller. Like we're packed like sardines in there. But what's exciting about it is it's all of these different fun, unique ideas, and all these startups are looking for different things. They're looking for exposure or funding, or to make new connections, or all the above. And these are like the scrappy little startups, and where they come, and all the little accelerated, startups as well. And that's so. But you are required to have I believe, a working product. Like you can't just, I don't think you can show up with just an idea. Like you need to be able to showcase what you're actually pitching and selling. And they also have another requirement, which is the idea or product that you are selling has to have come out within that year. It can't like be something that you released like a year ago, because they want everything in there to be like the newest and freshest products.
Can we share a story about that one booth that we we were chatting up with the floating thing? You remember that?
Oh, you love the crap out of it.
Well, no, I thought it was funny when the guy didn't know what to say. Remember, we were like, "Oh, so is this a working product?" And he's like, "I don't know." It's like, "So how much is this?" "I don't know." "When is it gonna go on sale?" "I don't know." We're like, "How did you get here?" And he was just laughing the entire time. I'm like, that was pretty funny. But yeah, but I didn't know that about those requirements. Like, yeah, you do have to have those things ready, I guess. But that guy wasn't ready. So
yeah, I mean, the preparedness of everyone of the people actually that work the booths is gonna vary
very, yeah.
And if they're not invested in their actual core business, then their desire to be able to sell the product is not going to be there. But you know, like I mean, for our booth, I made sure to like no matter who is at the booth, you need to be able to speak about the brand and the company and the products.
Mhm.
And so it was making sure that hey, if they ask anything, you should be able to answer it, or at the very least, have some sort of like a simple answer, and then they could always defer to me if they needed something more in depth.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, Chelsea, I think I shared the same sense of I felt like I was gonna be overwhelmed, but also like I was really excited because growing up I read about CES all the time. Like I followed Engadget and CNET, and I was like, wow, this sounds really exciting,
Mhm.
and I can't wait to go. And now this is technically, if I count this year as quote unquote attending, I
Mhm.
think this would be my fifth or sixth year.
Wow.
And it just keeps going downhill.
Really?
It just keep.
How would you compare this year with the first time you attended?
Well, I think we can't count this year, right? This year is an anomaly.
Mm-hmm.
But if I were to compare, just like last year or the year before, I mean, last year was special. That was the first time I exhibited at CES. That was really cool. Extremely tiring, and again, props to Lydia for being with me, and also our previous colleague Sojung for being there, because that was just a brutal time. Being at like standing in a booth and trying to like act all happy and cheerful and really excited to pitch the product for anyone that walks by. And it's like, how long were the days? We got in at 9, 8.
We got early to set up and make sure everything was ready, and then we would just go until the very end. I don't remember what time it was.
I don't remember what time we wrapped up. Maybe like 5 or 6.
Yeah,
right?
5 or 6 p.m. basically.
Yeah. And I know that sounds like just like a regular work day, but the fact is you're standing and talking and interacting the whole time, and you really have no time to like even take a lunch because you want to be prepared the entire time. So like you're sneaking in the bite whenever we can.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, you're just constantly just like sitting there trying to act like like everything's fine in the world,
Right?
When really you're just dying
inside.
Yeah.
Sick.
Because I think
or
a lot
sick.
of I think a lot of consumers, like myself included, in the beginning, I had no idea what CES was going to be like. I know it's a trade show, but I assumed it was just like it's like a storefront, right? You sit there and you just wait for customers to walk in, but you're constantly pitching yourself and your product and your company to people, to investors, and just like everyone. So you're always basically, for the entire time you're there, you're selling something. So that is exhausting just to think about.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I couldn't imagine
Mm-hmm.
having to, especially if you're not used to something like that. Like if that's your first time, like trying to pitch a product for like 7 hours straight, I would be lost. Be like, I don't know.
Exactly. Yeah. So to answer your question, Michael, like, I mean, how's it compared to the first time I was there? The one thing that has stuck with me every time I've gone is, and I think you experienced this too when you came to visit. You realize that the really cool, genuinely cool, and and inspiring innovations are far and few.
Yeah.
And it's disappointing to say, and it sounds terrible saying out loud, but most of the technology that people come up with seem to be just copycats of other existing technologies. Like I think the second year that I went, drones were a huge thing, and there was a whole like half a convention center dedicated to just people selling different types of drones and all these drone cages. But I mean, drones were just the hot thing then, and so people make what is hot. But there is no real innovation that you see when it comes to like, oh, well, what makes your drone better than other drones? And so because of all the copycats and just weird things that you don't, again, that booth that you mentioned where it's like a floating light thing that they know nothing about, it's just like there's so much junk. And so you have to go through and filter through all that again, which is much easier if you can walk through the exhibition halls.
You know how I would describe it, how CES I would describe it. It's almost like you're browsing through eBay. And
oh man,
you want to
that sounds bad. That sounds really bad.
I'm just saying you want to focus on the main things, right? Like the featured items are the ones that have higher ratings. Everything else can look really, really.
Let's call it Facebook Marketplace.
Okay. Okay. Well,
is that better than eBay?
I'm not really sure that's better, but
I don't know.
As long as you don't call it Craigslist.
Definitely on Craigslist. Yeah. So no, I should say that it depends on the building where you're in. Like it depends on the hall. Even in the main hall, though, they do have like quirky stuff.
That, though, and not just where you're in the hall. Sorry, not just which hall, but like if you're at the edges of the hall, or like the center of the hall. The edges of the hall get like exponentially worse. Like you walk there, you're like, who are you? Like, but just like also, what are you doing here? You like, Michael, you must have seen so many vendors from China where the people who are actually in the booths. Don't talk to anyone. They don't interact with anyone. They just sit there on their phones, and because they're there for a very different purpose. They're not there to pitch to you. They're there as, hey, we are a vendor that you can use if you want to manufacture something. So you'll come talk to us.
Yes. One of those companies, I was so interested in their product just because I wanted something like that. Basically, it was like let me see if I can. So they sold like headphones that had like a little stand like this, and you can magnetically connect the headphones like that, and while it's connected magnetically, it's charging. It just looks really, really cool, but no details, no prices, no anything. It basically was just like a card. It says, if you want to talk to us, here's our number, here's our contact information. So yeah, they were acting more of like, we are vendors, we're just making our presence known. And yeah, it's a very interesting experience. But also this was the first time that I've experienced walking through CES in the main hall where the big names are. Felt like you're walking into a convention where inside there are mini conventions. So when you walk into the Sony booth, you don't really walk into a booth. You walk into this entire theme park that's all Sony. It's really cool. Like the colors of the wall, the lighting, the carpet, everything is completely tailored to that big name. Same goes with Samsung. Same goes with Canon and Nikon and just the big names. But so it was really, really impressive. So you get to experience like different feelings, different brands, and it's quite immersive actually. But speaking of big name brands, did you notice anyone that's missing this year? Because you said that this is an anomaly considering. So are we missing anyone that's usually in the event?
Let's talk about our favorite. And this actually, hold on. This ties in very well to one of the favorite booths at CES is actually Google. I didn't get to go to the Google exhibit last year, but I know Lydia did. And Lydia had a great time. And Lydia also lost one of her AirPods in the ball pit at the Google exhibit.
Too much fun, Lydia. You're not supposed to have fun.
Sad. Yeah, I was like one of the first people to slide down that ball pit that day because I went like super early because usually Google has had its own like separate building. Basically, they laid down concrete, built this building for people to come to, and usually the line is super long and they like slowly let people in. So I went really early and they had the slide of a ball pit and I went down with my AirPods in. And once I fell in, the AirPods popped out of my ear, and then the line was starting to form, and all their like staff members went into the ball pit to try to like find this AirPod for me. And yeah, just, I was just lost there forever.
Just to describe it to you, Chelsea, Google's booth, well, I should say Google's building, was basically in front of the entrance of the main hall. So it's funny because you see a long line of people going into the main hall, like the main building, and then across the street, you'll see the Google's thing. It looked like a carnival. There's like balloons. There you go. Yeah. Balloons, slides.
Like this. It's not it's a whole ordeal.
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Somewhere in this ball
There's
pit.
my AirPod.
There's her AirPod.
There was no finding that. That was doomed from the start.
Yeah, and so I was basically the guinea pig. So afterwards, anyone that went up, they were like, "Do you have AirPods in? Do you have AirPods in? Do you have AirPods in?"
You set the new standard.
Yeah, I set the new standard. I saved everyone else. But
hey, Lydia, look, they have an action shot of them looking for your AirPods.
They're looking for them.
Newsworthy.
Okay, hold on. So Lydia, what was your takeaway? What was your emotional journey of like before CES to during and then post CES?
Well, before CES, I was healthy and happy, and then after CES, I was so sick, and that was January. And then a couple months later, people like the coronavirus came out, and I was like, "Oh my goodness, did we get the coronavirus?" But no, we were really, really sick. But it was fun. I think it was really cool because on the days where E manned the booth by himself and I ran away and escaped, I went around. I think people go through CS differently. So how I went through CS was I looked up lists of like blogs basically that listed all the booths that gave you free experiences and free things. So I went around. So I went around gathering like free food that they were like, "Oh, we use tech to like make this food," or like free, like they had a 3D printer where they like printed things, like they printed my face basically, and like I got to keep this little keychain. But I think it was fun. I wasn't expecting like, oh, Delta Airlines had this whole like immersive like experience for how they were gonna change like the airport experience, where like when you walk by, every screen would only show information for you specifically.
That's
so they would like read, I don't know, they read your face, read something, and then it would only show like information regarding your flight and your flight status. So everybody standing in that one room looking at the screen would be seeing different things. So I think it was really cool. I never was really much involved in like technology. I kind of just used whatever was available or whatever was necessary, and seeing like people innovating, even if it was kind of weird, like seeing how like that's how tech was being pushed by all these people. Yeah.
Did you ride that little Google Assistant ride?
So this was actually in 2019 where Google's booth, they actually made a little amusement park ride. Just to add on to how ridiculous Google is at CES. And also, I'm pretty sure everyone, after you finish this ride, you got a free Google Home Mini to take home with you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
So it's Google's Google. You know, they really flex. Google flexes a lot. So does B&W. B&W always has an exhibition outside where they literally will like, they're either driving cars up really steep ramps or drifting cars around. It's really fun to see what these big names do. And so, you know, as if the exhibition hall wasn't enough, they're saying, no, we want a lot more space.
If you want to see all the tech related, like car related tech stuff, it's a completely different area. It's all just cars. It's like you're going into a car show, like a trade show for automobiles. It's crazy. It's crazy just how massive this thing was.
This is what I keep saying over and over. It's just really big, guys.
I know. I don't know why I keep going back to that.
It looks super fun.
I'm so impressed.
I feel like I'm getting cheated because I'm not getting like this whole immersive thing, but hopefully next year.
Next year. Yeah. I want to go again.
Definitely. So Michael, you talked about the big names that are not there.
Yeah.
Right. And so, there's, I mean, Google's not here. If we do a quick search, I know that I think NVIDIA is not here.
You know why
Sony's
Nvidia's not there? They ran out of video cards. That's why they're not there.
They're busy. They're busy trying to make video cards. That's why they can't show up.
Hilarious.
That's so true.
So does Canon usually go? Do those types of companies go?
Mhm. They do.
See,
Canon is
here.
there.
Oh, they're here. Yeah.
Amazon there?
They had a really nice booth last year.
Did they?
Amazon is not here.
Amazon's
Didn't
not there. Wow.
Didn't Amazon do a massive booth last year?
Amazon had a huge booth. They basically built a house.
I don't
I-
remember Amazon's booth last year.
I feel like for companies like Google and Amazon, like this year might be a waste of time for them.
Yeah.
Is that probably why they're
So-
not here?
USPS is there. UPS isn't. The couriers love going to CES actually, because that's where they connect with all these like up and coming small companies who say, hey, we can get you a good rate if you need to ship a lot of products, right? So it's really strategic for them to be there, and I didn't realize that until they all approached us as well, and they one of us did catch us, and I was like, that's actually really smart, because at the end of the day, logistics and fulfillment is a massive thing that you need to take care of as a business. Who else? What other big name?
Panasonic in there?
BMW. Oh, BMW's here. I think Panasonic is, because I remember there's Panasonic news.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't they have the really cool booth where it's like a room and it has like laser something where basically when you stand in front of the wall, it'll trace you, and it's like it'll trace your movement. It's kind of like what the Xbox had. What was that? With the eyesight thingy?
Oh, the game.
Yeah, where it recognizes your movements, so it'll teach you how to do like yoga or something like that. It was really impressive. They had a really nice booth too. Yeah,
Really?
Panasonic had a nice one.
Well, one of our competitors, Belkin, is not there.
Oh, my camera's crapping out, so I'm just
Internal temp high.
I know.
Cool.
Sony, shout out to Sony. Well, I'm gonna fix my camera. I'm still here though. You just can't see my face, which is fine.
But anyways, what we're just trying to show here is that there are a lot of big names where, like Chelsea just said, it doesn't make sense for them to show up, right? And this goes back to, if you can't showcase what your product is in person, does it really even make sense to be there? If the consumers and the industry attendees can't experience your product firsthand, it's a lot of effort and time that you put into it. And so instead of doing that, all you're doing is making a little website. I mean, your own website does a better job of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. They'll probably just do something gigantic next year or whenever they can to make up for this year, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think everyone's ready to just. I'd like to imagine that people or companies are just prepping for the next year, for the following year. You know what I mean? Like they're like, let's just stay quiet this year and then just get ready for when everyone's ready to actually attend in person.
Yeah, I think they're just taking a break. I mean, there's not much that they can really push. So,
that's true.
Just take a break from it.
Yeah.
I think, okay, so we actually skipped over one of my favorite sections, products where it's like, I need this in my life. This is probably my favorite section. So
before we start, let me throw my wallet away. I don't want to buy anything.
Oh, I was like, wait, what? It's okay. You can't buy anything right now anyways.
Right.
This is CES, you can't buy anything. Actually, they make a specific rule in the CES contract that stipulates you're not allowed to sell anything on site. Very strict about that.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Really?
No sales.
But they can give it to you.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Lydia, why don't you start us off with this one? Because I think this one is extremely cool for the right person.
This is high-tech lipstick by YSL.
Can you pronounce the name of it, please?
Yves Saint Laurent. Yves Saint Laurent.
Yves Saint Laurent. Yeah. But what about
Saint Laurent? Monsieur, Monsieur.
Not bad.
I have no idea. So I'm just going to assume everything Lydia says is right.
That's what we do. Everything Lydia says, we just trust. We just blindly trust it.
Lydia said it. It should be fine. Just jump in. You're okay.
Okay, well, this Monsieur, Monsieur It's this new. It's like this. I don't know how big it is. It looks like it would be pretty big, but it's basically this like make your own lipstick on the go, whatever color you want. It's like customizable lipstick basically. So you buy these cartridges from Live Saint Laurent, and you can choose what cartridges you want, and it like the device itself is like linked to your phone, and on your phone you have this app where it'll tell you like, oh, if you mix it has a color wheel and you can choose like what colors you want, and then like if you like use certain percent of like this cartridge, like this color mixed with this color mixed with this color will give you like a unique color every single time depending on how much of each cartridge you use. And it's kind of cool. Like I think one of the features they have was like if you use the app and you like scan a color in real life, and it can like basically spit out that color in lipstick form with these cartridges. And so yeah, and I think it just spits out a little bit each time, so you can like have a different lip color every single time you want to use it. And it's also like this like community platform on the app where you can share the colors you create, and you can like use colors that other people have created.
That's cool.
If you're like looking at oh, I really like that shade of purple that she made, and you can basically just like download whatever recipe she used and like make your own color. Well, like recreate that color with your card, like little device.
Oh, that's interesting.
I foresee this being huge with the makeup YouTubers. You know, like all of those types of channels.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds really cool being able to make your own lipstick. My mom would probably love that. I wouldn't have much use for it, but it looks really cool.
I mean, I think this is incredible, right? You are essentially printing your custom lipstick color on the go,
making your
wherever
own.
you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just wonder how many like cartridges you would have to bring with you, because there's like 3 slots in a little device, right? And I'm assuming they probably have a ton of different types of cartridges, right?
Yeah. So like right here.
Is it the same size as a regular lipstick?
Hey, it's CES. Pricing's not out yet, Michael. Come on.
No, I'm not. I was saying the size. Is it going to be? Is it going to be small? Yeah. Because what if that's like, I don't know, like 2 feet?
Well, so like right here. So right here is a phone, right? So I guess.
Oh, interesting.
Substantial.
That looks pretty big.
I just figured out how this works. Basically, this portion at the top is portable, and so it's almost like you have a printer on the bottom, and it'll inject the mix into the top portion, and you can take it on the go with you if you want that color.
So that's smart.
Gotcha. That is really cool. So you're not carrying that whole printer around. You're just taking that little thing with you after you've made your color at home.
Exactly.
That is pretty cool.
Man, this is awesome.
My mom would love this.
This is awesome.
Yeah. Sign up for the pre-order.
Sign up.
Yeah. So yeah, we can block. So for the Yves Saint Laurent, sure they measure whatever it is, Rogues or measure. It starts at $2.99 for pre-orders, and in order to get a pre-order, you have to go to their site and just register with your email. They'll do this random draw. I know all this only because I signed up to Lydia because I thought, it'd be fun if she gets drawn for this. This just seems fun to play with, honestly, just to see it make that color.
Yeah,
it's definitely innovative. Like I assume when you think of CES, you think of like innovative products. Yeah. This is it. Like this is what you would think of when you think of CES. I think that's really cool.
So I'm not in the market for such a product, but for people who are buying this type of stuff, do you think they feel that this kind of cheapens the brand? You know what I mean? Like, because it's almost like you're just printing something. Maybe I'm just looking at it from a very different perspective, but.
Yeah, because I don't think so. I think this is making it very personal.
Okay, yeah. That's a good point. Very tailored.
I would say that this is my favorite type of application of technology, where it's a established brand that is using future tech to make a product that is like you look at it and you can immediately envision the possibilities. You can immediately envision the applications for this and think, oh, be great for this person. Like it'd be great for a makeup artist. It'd be great for someone that does a lot of makeup, who uses a lot of makeup or does a lot of makeup tutorials, or even like for my mom, right? Again, like just someone that if you're traveling and you want to bring makeup with you, if you're lipstick, like this is just. Actually, also, I don't know if you mentioned this, Lydia. Apparently, they have all these sensors, ambient sensors, or like this AI technology where it can also it can make like custom foundation, or even I think moisturizer later on. So it can take into account your skin type, ambient humidity, and create a custom formula on the spot that'll be good for your skin to use.
I would be interested in that for sure.
Wow.
So crazy, absolutely crazy.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Super cool.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to talk about what is arguably, I think it's one of my favorites, but I think it's also one of Michael's favorites too. But I get to talk about it first. It's called Cold Snap, Delightfully Frozen. And the best way to think about this is a Keurig for ice cream. And I don't know why you need this. I can't imagine why you need a Keurig for ice cream, because how hard is it to have frozen ice cream in your freezer? But I love this idea.
Apparently,
so
very
much.
hard, Yi.
And how much ice cream is one eating that you need essentially a tap for it?
Not enough. Not enough ice cream.
But look at what you can do, right? Ice cream, dairy, non-dairy, which is great for me, great for Lydia. We're both lactose intolerant. Lydia is very lactose intolerant. I love froyo. I love frozen smoothies. I love frozen cocktails.
I like frozen smoothies.
When you told me that this is, Yi sold it just perfectly. Like the Keurig of ice cream. I'm in. Yeah. That's it. That's the one product that I am most excited about, because it's
really cool.
I'm imagining it's very accessible to the general consumer, and just like the things that it only does one thing basically, but I'm thinking of all the days when my children are like, instead of them crying for ice cream, like we'd have to go to the store or something, or having to scoop all that ice cream, the frozen ice cream. It just makes it a lot easier. And I think it's just a really, really cool product. I'm like, why didn't I think of that? It's just one of those products that when I heard about it, I'm like, why didn't I think about that? That's really cool.
I would love to try this.
Yeah, me too.
Do you remember the brand called Juicero at all?
Mm-mm.
It kind of sounds familiar, but I'm not 100%.
So Juicero was there's a whole story around this, where Juicero started off. Actually, I think they got funding through Google as another startup, and Juicero it was a machine, this really big machine that was dedicated to providing you with fresh squeezed juice. This is what they made. And so they have all these juice packets, right? And you basically open up the machine, you put the juice packet in, it scans a barcode or an RFID code to confirm that the contents inside have not expired, and then it squeezes out the juice. It squeezes out the juice from the packet, and it was marketed as like the best way and the simplest way to enjoy fresh squeezed juice on the spot, on demand. The problem was, people realized that I think it started selling for like $800, $700, right? That this fresh juice squeezer, you could use your hands to squeeze it, and it's if you use your hands to squeeze it, not only do you get almost the exact amount of juice from the bag, you get it exponentially faster. And Casey Neistat actually did this on a video too, and so did a lot of people. And it's just hilarious that this over-engineered machine solved
a very basic problem.
It was just a hey, how do you get fresh juice? Well, we can make a packet and squeeze it out.
Yeah.
Or you just buy juice. And I mean, so the problem with Keurigs and all this kind of stuff is, is this really, how necessary is it? And is it just a novelty?
Well,
right?
This opens up a lot of possibilities for third-party companies to make different flavored ice cream, right? Like
True.
now
That's
you can
true.
really tailor like, oh, I wonder if someone made, I don't know, strawberry something and mix it with something else, you know? Just okay, like when you go to the grocery store and you buy ice cream, you're usually limited to 1 or 2 flavors just because you don't want to take 15 different flavors at home with you. So
Yeah.
this saves a lot of space and gives you a lot more variety, I guess. It gives you variety. Yeah, it's just a lot more choices, I think. And yeah, I
it's
think
fun.
that's the main selling point for me.
Yeah.
Like think of all the flavors that you can try. And all the ice cream that you can have.
The frozen coffee is interesting. I would definitely like to try that.
Yeah.
Basically, make your own fraps at home, right?
Mm-hmm. Pretty much.
That's cool.
All right.
I mean,
I like that.
yeah. Okay.
Oh, sorry.
If anybody gets it, you also have to get a toilet, and it will tell you to stop.
Yeah, it'll remind you that you are lactose intolerant.
You need to stop eating so much dairy.
You are lactose intolerant. Please stop.
Yeah, please stop.
You're making me dirty.
Yeah. The toilet's like crying. Like, please stop doing this to
The
me.
the trifecta would be that the cold, what was it again? Cold snap? Was it cold snap? Yeah, the yogurt thingy, the toilet, and the
the cold
Amazon
snap, right.
like button if you need more toilet paper. That's all you need at home.
Oh, yes.
That's the trifecta right there.
That's Lydia's dystopian future where she eats too much ice cream and then goes to the bathroom a lot and then has to use the Amazon button to reorder a lot of toilet paper. Technology.
There you go.
All right.
Okay. Now we are moving on.
Yes, we are moving on. Back to toilet, I see.
Back to the toilet.
This is Michael's pick.
Yeah.
This is the new Sony wireless speakers.
Mm-hmm. I thought that was like just the whole idea of it being wireless and claimed 360 technology is very appealing to me. So a lot of companies have already dabbled with the idea of 360 degree sound, right? I think that the HomePods does the same thing kind of, or the Bose speakers where it doesn't say it's 360 degrees surround sound. They just say that the sound comes, from every side of the product. But this one, I mean, if you look at it, it has 3 different speakers kind of jutting out from the top. And it's supposed to throw the sound like onto the ceiling, and then it kind of rains down on you around you. So I don't know how that works, but if someone told me this, I am definitely going to check out that booth. And knowing Sony, last year Sony had different rooms for their different products. So they had separate rooms right next to each other where you get to try the speaker and they get to demo it. I'll say, though, that they did demo one of their speakers, and I remember walking in with a group of people, and the guy was like, okay, are you guys ready? And so we're like, yeah. And they actually designed the room to look like an actual lounge. So we're all ready. And then when he played it, it literally just sounded like someone was playing a song in someone's speaker. Like, it was not impressive. It was kind of cringy.
Let down.
It was cringy because everyone just looked around at each other and no one was the least bit impressed. And we all very promptly walked out. So it was kind of embarrassing.
Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah.
Sad.
But if this works the way I think it works, it should be an interesting product. Definitely something I would love to try, especially if you live in maybe a smaller home or you have a smaller area. I think this would be probably ideal instead of buying, an actual 5.1 surround sound system. Obviously, that's very, very different. But if this can mimic even a fraction of that, I think this would be an impressive product.
I think it's always appealing when you can have one small thing replace a whole big system.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what they're offering here. Although not cheap. I will say that they are pricing this, like the one that we see in the photo right now, starts at $811 and it'll be available February 2021, so next month. That's a lot of money for a standalone.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen sound bars around that same price range. So if this can at least perform in the same way, maybe that's okay. But
I will say though, just for comparison's sake, HomePods are $299 and you probably get them a discount a little bit less than that, depending on when. So you could get up to almost 3 HomePods for one of these. And the question would be 3 HomePods versus one of these, and can Sony pull it off? And yeah.
And if you use HomePods, you can link them, right? Like to act like
Exactly.
stereo speakers.
You can using AirPlay too. You can link them together, and they have their own spatial awareness, understanding what the other HomePod is, and they'll work off of each other. You can actually pair these up, I believe. So that is cool.
That would be the real test, though.
But for a pair of these, it's going to run you $1,600.
Might as well just get a 5.1.
You're looking at like pro audio systems,
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see how a single one of these devices perform against 2 HomePods, basically. If it sounds any better, right? Like that would probably be the test that I would try.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting.
That'd be one of those things like you wouldn't know until after you bought it, and then you're like, well.
How do you guys feel about the look, though? The way it looks. Why are you laughing, Lee?
It just I don't know what it reminds me of. It just looks funny.
It reminds me of those drum sets, Chelsea, for kids, like those digital.
Oh,
Yeah.
It does look like that.
Yeah, but maybe that's why I think it's fun.
Toy. It does look like a kid's toy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the color though.
Hey, it's black, it's copper.
Yeah.
It ticks all my boxes. It ticks all your boxes.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's the entire set of your
office. That's my Instagram feed right there.
Is this color.
His background matches that speaker.
I should just put my signature on it. Like, there you go. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm curious to see. I would love to check that out in a store. And maybe actually if it comes out next month, I might actually purchase it and see, because I do need speakers.
You should purchase that and then 3 HomePods and just put it to the test. Like, let us know on YouTube.
Yeah,
Michael, I could try that.
It's just gonna run you like
$3,000. You'll be fine.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Return them all.
I don't know about that. Yeah.
Just return them. You'll be fine.
Hold on. Are you saying that influencers buy products and then return them?
No.
Hey, so actually going back to that point, this is really interesting. A lot of people are getting, like, this came into light after the AirPods Max came out, right? Like everyone bought it with the intention of returning it. I actually bought mine with the intention of keeping it. But then I didn't like it.
Return it.
I returned. No, actually I was going to return it, and then I sold it to I posted it with, basically selling it for whatever it's worth. Not
face value.
Yeah, for face value basically, because I'm like, instead of me returning it to the store, I might just offer it to someone else who really wants it, and so that they can pay the same price. Yeah. But I got so many offers, and none of them could really meet me like right away. I had to wait the next day. And the earliest one was some guy, and he's like, sell it to me. And he put like $20 on top of the price. So, cause he really wanted it. I'm like, okay, well,
wow.
Yeah. So I still made $20, so that's fine. Right. So
true.
Yeah. But, I bought it with the intention of like actually keeping it. And my argument, like people were saying, well, you should have kept it for a few more days and just reviewed it. I'm like, no, because like for a product like that, I know what I like in my headphones, right? I have a couple already. And if I walked into an Apple store and tried that, I would have been like, yeah, this isn't for me. I wouldn't have walked out of that store with the AirPods Max because it just didn't fit me. So that I treated it like that. Like I was excited when I got it, and I'm like, yeah, I don't like it. So I returned it, or not returned it. I was going to return it right away. I think that was the same day, but instead I just sold it. But yeah, this one though, for the speaker, I will buy it because I want to try it. So I don't know about the HomePods.
Curious, right? It's always fun to try these things.
I do want to try it, yeah.
You'll have to see how it turns out.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about something that is something that Chelsea really liked. And again, you have to explain this to everyone watching and to us why you want this.
Yeah, I don't really know why. No, I'm just kidding.
Because you have to explain how this fits into your life. And then after everything, explain the price and why you're willing to justify.
What is this? I've not heard of this. Okay. Chelsea, explain.
So, this is essentially like a doggy door, where if you're not home, your dog, or I guess your cat too, I think it's really just for dogs. Your dog can go outside without you being there, and then it can come back in. And what it does, it wears that little collar there. And when the dog is positioned at the door for a couple of seconds, the little doggy door opens and it lets your dog out, and then it closes behind the dog.
That is smart.
It is, yes. But he was like, so why would you want this? I'm like, I don't know why I would want this.
I can tell you why, Chelsea.
When we're not at home, my dog is in her cage because she can't be trusted. But I was thinking, after we talked, how cool would it be to not have to get off the couch to let your dog out? Like, she just goes and stands at the door, and then it just opens up and she goes out by herself. So I would still purchase it for that price.
Yeah, before I interject again, how much is it?
Right?
How much is it? Yeah.
3,000.
Wait. No, I was gonna have Michael guess.
Oh, dang it, 3,000. Yeah, that's a lot. But I was gonna say, Chelsea, this is actually useful because I don't know if you listened to that particular podcast, but Chelsea and I had an episode where her dog just kept ringing the doorbell. I thought it was the most adorable thing because her dog has a doorbell. So if he or she, I forgot,
girl,
Stella. Yeah, Stella, that's right. Needed to go inside or go outside, she would just keep on ringing the doorbell. I'm like, who is that? It's like, that's my dog. I'm like, you trained your dog how to use the doorbell? And she's like, no, she has a little thing. I'm like, that was actually really impressive, but it still doesn't really get rid of the inconvenience of having to get up and let the dog in or out. And the same thing with my dog. My dog has a schedule. Basically, he knows that in the morning he has to go outside. Otherwise, he's going to be stuck inside for a little bit. And, he's very good, but he'll just constantly sit next to the door if he needs to go.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean?
See,
so
if he did this, his little collar would
just
let that
open.
little sensor thing know, and then it would just let him out.
I think that's a really good piece of tech. I would definitely buy that, but not for $3,000.
$3,000? I know. I don't know. I still would.
I don't know.
Would you?
Why it's $3,000? It makes no sense to me why it's $3,000.
Because
my question is, I was looking into this last night, and my question is, are you drilling a hole into your door and then placing this hole with the automatic door in there, or are you just replacing your whole door with this door? Because at $3,000, like, I could probably justify getting the whole door. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, because this is going to be a custom thing. You're definitely gonna have to. Can you imagine? I mean, they might as well be selling a door, like an entire door.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
because it wouldn't even work at my house because our back door is all glass.
Wait, so are they not selling an entire door? Maybe they are selling the entire door. You think?
Okay.
That's not clear.
Okay. The problem is, I was looking at some of their materials, and they acknowledge that it's very common for people just like Chelsea to have a door that's all glass, so you can't retrofit this onto a door like that. And even in their testing, they've shown different types of doors. I know that on this page, they're all like these sliding doors, but they also had a version where it's like it basically goes up and then comes down, like what are those things that slice people's heads off?
A guillotine.
Guillotine. It's like a guillotine. Yeah.
Guillotine.
It's like a guillotine. It's a guillotine style.
Guillotine style.
For your dog.
What trim would you like?
My dog's head would get stuck in there, and then we'll have to pause the podcast and go downstairs and get my dog out.
My dog's stuck in the door.
You know what? Now that I'm thinking about, what is it made out of? Mostly, what's the material? Do you know?
Probably. I think it's mostly just wood. Yeah.
Because my dog is a big dog, and he will probably bang his head, until that thing opens up. So he's probably going to ruin it. $3,000 down the drain.
So, but in case, I mean, there are a lot of smart sensors though, and it allows, like, it knows when the dog is actually there and stationary waiting for the door to open. It can sense if the dog actually has made its way through, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it knows not to guillotine your dog or just like scrunch its face into the middle of it.
Is the collar waterproof? Sorry.
So it's all weather. It's all weatherproof.
Okay.
That's a big thing. That was one of their challenges, was to make sure it was weatherproof. And when you have all of these mechanisms built into this door frame, so $3,000 right there.
With my understanding, like, someone comes out and they install this, so it's not like something that you're doing yourself, correct?
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think there's any way you install this yourself.
Because my husband and we couldn't even get these sound panels on the wall without having to do it 3 times. We had to spackle and paint and sand. It was ridiculous. So I couldn't imagine us having to do something like this on top of paying $3,000. Like, no, that wouldn't happen. But if they come out, maybe you could justify the $3,000 there. I don't know.
But what's the
Do they
difference
have a
between this
video
and,
that
like, a
that we can
regular
see?
doggy door?
It's automatic, Lydia.
It's automatic.
Yeah, but
Dog can't just
a
go
dog
in.
can push its own doggy door open.
Yeah, but
It's,
so can other animals.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's true. Actually, you know what? My dog doesn't need this because he does have a little doggy door and he's fine with that. I would need this for my children.
That come into your house? For your children.
I would need this for my kids.
What? So say you're locked out with your dog. You could just like wait for the doggy door to open, then you climb in.
Or you can wear the collar yourself.
I mean, just let the dog sit there. There's no need for you putting the collar
That's
on.
true. Is there a video that we can watch? I kind of want to see it in action.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. There's always video.
Huh. I want to see the door.
You gotta wait for the door.
I know.
Oh, God, that's so cute, though.
I know. Oh, so you can activate it remotely, or you can open it.
I think you have to activate it remotely.
Oh, well, then what's the collar
point
for?
Of the collar?
Purpose of the
The
collar.
collar is there to allow it to detect that your dog is stationary.
Oh, and then it'll notify you.
Okay.
Oh wait, no.
Yeah. No,
It
you control it.
open automatically.
You know, it basically it registers dog is there, pings you on your phone. Hey, your dog wants to go out. You say okay, it opens it. Yeah.
In a weird way, that actually is a good idea.
Right? I still
Yeah.
want it. I'm convinced.
That's why it's $3,000. There's a camera there. Because
I will say, I mean, I feel like both options are feasible where you can have it be automatic or manual. It's just up to your own security preferences, right?
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
But,
Well, they know their market. You know, dog
Cute.
pet lovers. They'll buy anything for their dogs.
yeah,
Yeah.
Chelsea.
I know. Everyone points at me. My dog has, that's so true because my dog has a purple bed. Like, you know,
the purple.
mattress
Like,
company.
yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. The mattress company. Yes, she has one.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Yeah.
My dog went through 4 beds already.
Yeah, she's good. She doesn't chew her beds. She
Yeah.
doesn't chew anything that's in her cage. She only chews things that aren't hers, like our clothing.
That's not really good. I think
good. No.
I'd rather she chew her
Yeah,
bed.
good for your dog. Good for your dog.
Good for your
her.
dog, yeah.
Good for her.
That's awesome. Well, that's
Uh,
cool. I like this idea. All right. Well, I was kind of impressed
Okay.
then. Yeah.
But it lost me at 3K.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I'd still buy.
I want to switch. I want to go a little off script because I know we're getting close to the time that we said we kind of cut off. But there's a product that I really want to show. It's technically Chelsea's like top pick of CES, and I feel like even though Lydia picked the Total Wellness Toilet for also her top pick of CES, I feel like we all secretly think this is the top pick of CES, and it's the Kohler voice activated smart bath. Chelsea, do you want to talk about this again for us? Pitch it to Michael.
Absolutely, Michael.
All right. What you got here?
Hold on, let me pull up where I can read it a little bit better. So essentially, this is a voice activated bathtub. So you can, I guess it's like telling Siri, like, hey Siri, fill up my bathtub. It will also set the temperature. It will fill it up. My favorite part though, I keep going back to this. It has like that overflow, like, you know, pools have, where it just kind of is like floating over the edge and then has this steam on top. I mean, it just looks incredible, but I keep going back to the price where I would never be able to justify it. But if you want to talk a little bit more about it, you go ahead.
Yeah, so this is really cool. The how the prices are tiered is ridiculous.
It is.
But what I do really love about this is the fact that you can set smart routines. You can essentially program it to know, like, hey, if you want it to automatically fill up at 8 p.m. every night, you can have it do it. You can set the water level at which it fills to, maintain a certain temp for you. And what we're seeing in this photo right here, it has this like fog aromatherapy feature that just casually lays on top of the water. It has this cascading water effect that it can also be installed, in which it has like these wooden grates, and the water goes over. It has like the LED strips to give this whole like ambiance and everything. But if you just want the standard tub, like the standard tub that has just like this smart water leveling and like and maintaining the temperature, that'll start at what?
Holy smokes!
What did Michael say? Oh,
want the fog and aromatherapy, that's 11K. And then if you want the one that has the lights and the floor grates, that's 16K.
Okay,
and I get it.
So do you want a Ford Focus?
A used car? Yeah. Do you want like a really entry level car, or do you want
a bathtub?
Right.
This is only for Oprah Winfrey. I'm telling you. Only Oprah will have this in her house.
That is insane, though. You know what, though? For the right customer, I mean, it obviously is a very expensive product. I mean, without even saying the price, I probably would have guessed like $6,000. You know what I mean? It's obviously more than that, but
I don't know. Like, you could probably justify $6,000. Maybe.
Chelsea's justifying $6,000 in her head right now.
No, you know how Chelsea can justify it? Market it towards a dog. This is for your dog.
Oh yes, $16,000, no problem.
Perfect. Now, I think it's a cool product. Like, if I had a really nice, if I had the money to spend on a really nice home, I would probably get a really nice bathtub too, and this would probably be it. Yeah,
that's what I was gonna say. You would want the house to match this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you wouldn't put that in like just any old house.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of. I've never been a fan of like those RGB lighting though. Like that. It makes me feel like I'm in a strip club.
Ambience though.
Like, you're getting old, Mike.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, I like that. That sets the ambience. Like, you turn all the other lights off in the bathroom, and then you just have that and like the steam. Oh, come on.
Yeah.
Just take my money.
It's just like strobing like a rave.
Yeah.
And someone on the mic, and on stage we've got.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So no, that's
we got Chelsea Horn.
That's just me. But I do like the whole. It's nice like to have. Imagine like just on your way home, and you fill up the bathtub to the right temperature, aromatherapy and everything. That is good. That is awesome. I think. I mean, especially if you had a setting like that, like my bathroom does not look like that
that's
nice.
The problem, right?
Mine either.
I mean, like, for the right customer, their bathroom might actually look like this.
Yes.
So this product would actually look correct and fit in. Like
Mm-hmm.
this is a whole vibe. This is a lifestyle.
It is.
That's not.
Where you can afford something like this, and this is not our lifestyles, but for whoever can afford this, props to you.
Yeah. So we shouldn't. We shouldn't even be. Oh, sorry.
Could you imagine a $16,000 bathtub in like my house? The house itself only costs like $230,000.
That's the main selling point. You're selling the bathtub.
Yeah, just bathtub.
Yeah, that bathtub will increase your property value.
I don't know. I don't know if it would or not.
Can I bring it to my next apartment? You know what I mean? Yeah, it's definitely for the right customer. And I think that said, I guess the price isn't. It's at this point, it's not even relevant. You know what I mean? Like if you have a nice house, I guess that probably would be the bathtub. Do they offer different sizes, or is it just different features?
I think it's a one size fits all.
Mm.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. For 16K,
let me tell you what would happen at my house. Okay, I would say, "Hey Siri, fill up my bathtub at the correct temperature." I would come home, and 3 other people would be in the bathtub. I'd be like, "Hey, mommy."
Right, but what's great about this is that it would do that, and then once they're done, you can just tell it to refill the bathtub.
That's
right?
true.
That's the brilliance of this. You don't have to do any of the work. It takes care of it'll drain it all and then fill it back up to what you want. I think that itself is awesome. The self-filling part is great. Okay.
There's definitely a market for it for someone. Definitely a customer, I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I wanna switch gears and talk about something that is I don't think we should talk about it coming from a brand perspective, but from a personal consumer perspective, I can't help but talk about it. It's someone else's wireless charger.
There's so many of those already, I feel like. But
I
yeah,
know.
go ahead.
So again, for those watching that don't know, right, we make wireless chargers, and so it doesn't make sense for us to promote a competitor's wireless charger. But I have to give props to the fact that this thing looks clean. It looks really nice, and it utilizes MagSafe. And it's just unfair that Belkin has the competitive advantage of being such a close manufacturer and producer for Apple that they can make stuff in tandem. And
Is that true? I didn't know that.
Belkin is, so I think in the same article, they talk about how Belkin is the first company to offer their own earbuds that work with the Find My app on iOS.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so that shows you how like deeply integrated they are with Apple. Again, it is what it is. But at the end of the day, I think this is like this. I would love this. I honestly would use this. Right?
That actually does look nice.
Yeah, and it's super simple, right? You can stick your phone on it directly, and this is most likely not going to help, funneling people towards our products. But this is great. There's nothing around it. This is a nice, simple thing that I think will sell really well.
Yeah,
and it retails for $99.95.
So you're paying for $100 for a dual charger, dual wireless charger with MagSafe. That's actually really cool. I mean, I paid the same amount for an old wireless charger that I have. Was it the Peel? Remember that, Yi? The one that I was talking.
The Peel. Super thin Peel.
Super thin. Yeah. It's nice, but I don't know if it's worth $100. But then again, when it came out, wireless charging was still kind of new. This is actually really cool.
Yeah,
I like that one.
So just plugging that, Belkin, if you want to, say thanks for us.
Yeah,
thanks to us for plugging you.
Throw Yi a bone, please.
Yeah. Exactly.
Throw Yi a bone by sending those to Michael and I.
Yes.
Yeah.
Please. We will test it.
Send it to my friends. All right. I think we've gone through a lot of the fun ones at CES. I know that this is definitely not all.
No.
There's way more stuff at CES that is going on, but at the end of the day, these are the ones that we scoured. We scoured the web for, and we try to find the stuff that we thought was just stuff that you guys would enjoy and just find, unique or quirky or interesting. But there is something to say about the fact that this is definitely not what CES is.
Yeah.
This is not the best representation of CES, and it is the chaos and the excitement and the fun and the pain and the hurt and the ailments and the sickness and the emotional turmoil, and then
that sounds like a terrible event.
I remember actually when Lydia and I left CES, I think that we were both so relieved that it was done.
Yeah.
Like nothing made me happier than each mile I drove further and further away from Vegas. I was like, oh yeah.
Oh my god.
That's funny.
All right.
So we're all going next year, right?
Yeah, no, like we'll still all go. Regardless, we will go to CES.
Yeah.
But we will get to attend as just industry attendees instead of exhibiting, and we'll get to just spend an hour at the exhibition and then go play some blackjack and go to the buffets.
Buffets.
Yeah. If I were to change anything from my CES experience, it definitely would be I wish I went with someone else. Because going there by yourself, although it's there's a lot to take in, but it really just you can't really fully appreciate it. I'm like, I get so excited. Like I was looking at all these new things and I'm like, wow, this is cool. And I'm like, turn around, like these are all strangers and I can't really get excited, with them.
I mean, you could.
I guess I could, and I did. At some point I did. I remember one of the employees that worked there. I was just like chatting with them for forever, and I kind of like took them away from their job. But yeah, it's one of those things that I'm very excited. Hopefully next year that we can all attend in person, because that would be kick-ass. That would be fun.
So fun.
Yeah.
One last thought I want to share is I do give like some empathy and sympathy towards all those small startups that try to exhibit this year. You cannot anticipate COVID, and you cannot anticipate CES turning into this, where your biggest opportunity to showcase your product that you've been developing for years is suddenly derailed because you don't have the correct opportunity to display your product and showcase it.
Yeah.
To modify your roadmap, to modify your PR is not easy. And I mean, that's why we see such a big drop off, I believe, in the numbers of exhibitors. And it sucks. There's no way around it. It just sucks. And so, you do the best you can and you try to get the coverage you can. But at the end of the day, the challenge is huge. And I really, we're right there with you. Like we know what a challenge it is to try to move a product that is dependent upon like just people experiencing it, face to face and in a physical space. But this is temporary. We'll get past all the social distancing. Hopefully sooner rather than later, and we'll be able to instead of doing this over Zoom, we can do it in person. We can live stream in person and actually talk in person and actually see each other in person. But until then, this is what it is. And so we hope that this was a little bit of exposure. Honestly, I think we talked more about our ideas about CES and our experience about CES, just as much as we talked about the products. I think that is actually what makes CES. It's like how were you while you're at CES, not just what you saw.
Yeah. For sure. CES was an experience, so it's not. Unfortunately, this is just a webpage. But yeah, that was cool. Yeah, so I think we've covered a couple of things. Like as we mentioned in the beginning of the stream, it would just be insane to try to cover everything. And like what Yi mentioned in the beginning, if you look at the list of exhibitors, there's really no description, so you would have to pick every single one and then look inside, see if it's interesting. So you're basically just scouring the web at this point. Mm-hmm. So we tried to give you, Yi and Lydia did all the legwork, to be honest.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I did nothing. Yeah. I'm just here.
So they tried to find the most interesting, noteworthy products or innovations that we would love to talk about. And I think we did cover a lot of them, and they were definitely interesting, especially they're memorable for sure. I think after this stream, Chelsea and I, and maybe Yi and Lydia, if they are free, we could probably do a follow-up, like either a podcast or maybe another live stream, and just kind of revisit the things that we saw today and just talk about all the things that we, our thoughts, basically share our thoughts, and that'll be fun.
And
so
also, and also new stuff should come out. I mean, this is the official day one of CES. So we're expecting more news to come on out, but again, it's going to be hard to see what happens. So it's easier to let the news streams kind of let those articles trickle out first, and then then we can revisit what actually came out post CES at the end of all of it.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Well, for what it's worth, this was kind of fun. I mean, it was nice to see you guys.
Yeah, it was all right. I mean, whatever.
I wanted to say, since this is my first CES, I had fun. I had fun being able to talk about these new and upcoming products with you guys. I know actually being there would have been a lot more fun, but I appreciate you guys having me, and I did enjoy it.
Sweet.
Did you have fun? How do you feel?
I would do it again if you asked me to do it again.
Oh my god.
I'm just kidding. I had fun. I really like the toilet.
Go back to the toilet.
I've never been more glad to be able to talk about a toilet for so long.
I know, right? Yeah, that was awesome.
Did great, Lydia.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Crushed it.
Lydia's always the star of the show. It's just the one-liners. I would do it again if you asked me to do it again.
Yeah. So the next time we have...
Well, in the very beginning, she said, "I'm only here because you told me to get up and come do this live stream."
Next live stream the thumbnail should just be Lydia's face. Yes.
Here, but she was told to be here.
I was told to be here.
Crying.
Well, that's awesome. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. And Tobias, sorry, I'm just reading because I tried to avoid all the comments. I'm just gonna quickly look through the comments, and it looks like people are just kind of commenting here and there. But if you are here watching the stream right now, thank you for joining us, and thank you for hanging out with us, especially if you sat through the entire thing. Anyway, we are actually ending the stream right now, but you can you can rewatch this as soon as this publishes. I don't know how long it takes for YouTube to actually publish the stream because I'm very new to streaming and I'm just glad that nothing caught on fire this time. So, but yeah, again, we will announce if we are going to do another live stream or maybe a podcast. And we definitely have a lot to talk about and it should be a fun time. So if you guys could join us again, that'd be awesome. But anything else, guys? If you guys want to say anything before I end the stream, I mean, feel free. Nothing? Yi? You not saying anything?
Yeah.
Maybe you should promote your thingy.
Oh, right, sure. Yeah. You know what? No, Lydia, you promote our brand.
She's like, oh,
Why
why?
you gotta do this to me?
Sorry, Lydia.
We have an awesome new charger out. I don't know, you might have seen us running Kickstarter ads, but it's called the Drop and the Dock.
Mm-hmm.
Short, it's the Drock, but he doesn't like me calling it that. But
Drock sounds so bad.
our Drock. It's really cool. I think our whole goal with this entire line of chargers is to create something specific for every situation that you would be in. So our first two products were one for the bedside specifically, one for the workstation or your table, and now we want one that you can take with you on the go. And so, I mean, with COVID and everything, I mean, you can still go to the park, but it's really convenient. It's just we wanted a completely wireless, like, charging experience wherever you are.
Charger.
Yeah, a wireless charging experience. It's like actually wireless. There's two parts of it. So you can see there's the top part that kind of shines and then the one that's actually wired. The top part you can just take. It's a portable battery bank basically. You take it with you on the go. Every time you put it down, the light kind of breathes in and out to tell you that it's charging. And it's actually really soothing to look at.
Yeah,
and I like it.
it's
a
really
lot.
nice.
Honestly, I use it like it's like an adult night light at home, like at night. I leave
Yes,
it in
me too.
Yeah, it's like
how I use it as well.
it's how I use a nightlight basically, and it's really pretty. It's really convenient. It'll charge your phone from 0 to 100 one time, perfect, just enough for one day. And when you come home, like other battery packs, you have to like manually plug that in to charge it. But this, you just set it down on your dock and you set your phone on top of it, and it'll charge everything in one go. So it's really easy to use and really convenient.
There you go.
There it is.
Can I just say,
did great, Lydia, you did so good.
you did awesome. But I actually, honestly, just wanted to say thank you to some products, to Yi and Lydia, because they have been very supportive of me and Chelsea. And without them, I wouldn't have been able to attend my first CES last year. And hopefully, if I stay within their good graces, I will still attend next year. So, yeah, thank you guys. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you, Yi and Lydia. Honestly, you have been a very, very huge part of this journey. And I just really want to say thank you and appreciate everything. So, guys, go buy some products, please.
Yeah.
Go buy the
Come buy our
drop.
stuff. Come buy our stuff.
Go buy the drop.
Yeah.
You won't regret it.
You won't regret
Trust
it.
And if you do regret it, maybe you can return it, but that's like,
Hey, Yi's easy to talk to. So if you guys have any problems with the products, just reach out to them. So, all right. Well, I think we can end this right now. How do we do this, Yi? So, you have control of the thing. I mean, I do have control of the thing. So I guess, I just have to exit this. And all right, guys. Well, thank you for sticking around. I really appreciate it. And we will see you guys again pretty soon. So until then, stay safe, take care, and we'll see you around. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.